Hey guys, how are you? Hope you're fine. My name is Mindstuck Idajock and I'm good, great, and excellent as always. And today I'm going to talk about 5 hobbies that I like to do. So the first hobby is drawing. I started drawing when I was 12 and it was because there was this competition going on in my school in which the winner would have his or her drawing shown in a museum in New York, and you would receive like $1,200. And you know, when I heard that, I was like, oh my god, yes, that's so gonna happen. So I went to participate and win. And back then my drawing abilities were based on grabbing glue, like the ones that come in a tube, and then putting it on the paper, drawing the circle, and then that was the head of the body, and then the body would be super stiff. And I liked the way I drew back then, but I knew that it wouldn't be enough to win the competition. So back then I had a friend who draws the manga style kind of drawing, and so I decided to ask her to teach me how to draw manga, but she didn't want to teach me. I don't know why. And so because she didn't want to teach me, I decided to go to YouTube and search how to draw a face, how to draw a hand, a feet, whatever. And so I started drawing. So anyways, I draw both digital and traditional. Traditional is with the usual sheet of paper and colors. I haven't drawn traditional in a while, but I've recently gained some requests and I am going to work on them as soon as possible. And here is my sketchbook, my baby sketchbook. It was a gift from a family who I spent 2 months with when I was kind of in a exchange program with their school and my school. And that family rocks. They're amazing. And this is one of my favorite traditional drawings. I don't know why, I just like it. And I remember that when I did it, one of the teachers saw it and she thought that I was like a tattoo artist or something, and she kind of wanted to have that tattoo now that I think about it. And that's so cool. This is one of my favorites too. I don't know, it was my first drawing with watercolors actually. Oh, this one too. This one, I like it. It's a mermaid singing with sharks. And a lot of classmates were like, oh my god, what are you drawing? Because she doesn't have a shirt on and kind of see her nipple. Oh, and this one. This one is my favorite. I don't know why I like it so much. This is my absolute favorite. Like, if you think that this looks familiar, it's because this drawing isn't the shirt that I use for all my monthly updates. It was a gift from my mom and my dad, surprisingly enough, and I don't know, I like it. And I also use some markers that the same family that gave me the sketchbook gave to me, and I don't know, I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking about my traditional drawings because I could spend an entire video talking about them, but I'm gonna show you like sneak peeks of my digital ones that you can totally go check out in my Instagram and on my other channel, which link I'm gonna leave in the description down below. And there's also like a link to that channel, like to one of the videos at the end of this video. So the second hobby is reading. As you can see in the background, I have like this bookshelf, and just like, okay, it's full of books, but just some of them are mine. All these are my babies. The rest are like dictionaries or notebooks and stuff. And back home, I didn't used to read that much. Like, I read at school, and that was like okay, because I hate when I have to read something because I have to, because I'm forced to. So whenever my school gave me a list of books to buy, I would feel conflicted, because like it also depends on the book. Some books that I read were terrible, I hated them, and that made reading unappealing to me. But then when I was in 8th grade, I read Percy Jackson, the first book. I haven't read the other ones. I was planning to, but there are just so many. But yeah, I read Percy Jackson and the City of Ember, another book of a trilogy I think that I'm not going to read, because I don't know, I don't feel that attracted to that one. But I read those, and then in 9th grade I read The Maze Runner. That was like I had to take my hat off and applaud to my teacher back then that everyone hated, and I ended up hating him too. But there was a point that we literally had nothing to do. Like, we were done with our classes, we had read all the books, we did everything. And it's not that we were done reading the books, it's just that nobody wanted to buy or read the books that we were supposed to. And one day, I think he found like several copies of The Maze Runner in the English department, and apparently those copies had been there for years, and he just decided to grab one and take it to class and like read the first chapter and see what we thought. And I ended up loving those books. By the way, page 250 tore me apart. If you read The Maze Runner, then you know what I'm talking about. So because I liked The Maze Runner so much, I became interested in other books. And back then Divergent was a thing, so I started reading Divergent too. I read the entire trilogy, and I read 4 I read, what else did I read? I traveled to the US, read Eleanor and Park, and when I moved here to Canada, that's when I started buying books for myself and reading them. And I did that because I have a friend back in Venezuela, shout out to my Parabatay, who loves to read. And back then she was reading, or she had already read The Mortal Instruments, and so because of a particular ship in the book, she was trying to convince me to read the books as well. But the thing is that I don't know why I don't like reading books in Spanish. Like, if the book was written in Spanish, then I think it's okay, but if the book was originally written in English, I can't read the Spanish version of it. It drives me nuts. And so she was willing to lend me the books so I could read them before moving here, but everything was so in a rush, and she had been recommending the books for a while, but I kind of never listened to her until it was too late. And so when I came here and I had the opportunity to buy a book, I bought the first one of that series and I ended up loving it. I'm a full shadow hunter now. I don't care. And so the more pages I read, the more obsessed I became with books, and now my bookshelf is growing and growing and growing, and I have to buy a proper bookshelf now because I don't think they're gonna fit in that space. So thank you, my dear friend, for cursing me with the curse of spending all your money in books. Hobby number 3 is writing. So back when I was 12 again, I started watching anime because a friend that I had back then was forcing me to watch anime because it was so cool, and I ended up liking it. So I started watching a lot of anime, and I think that being exposed to those like unrealistic storylines, like, oh, you are the ultimate savior of the world, only you can save us and you have the only power that's capable of doing that kind of thing. So because of those unrealistic scenarios, I think that my brain kind of unlocked itself, and I started imagining worlds of unhumanly like possibilities and stuff. And there was a point in which I couldn't let those ideas just come up, like be born and then die in my brain. So I started writing. Like, my first stories are so bad. I think I even still have the blog in which I published my first finished novel. Oh my god, it's like, I just remember what the premise was about, but it's like, I was just combining a lot of the Japanese influence that I had back then and then some of the American influence, and it's just a mess. And it's called Rapdo. The initials are in Spanish, and it's like Recuerdos al borde del olvido. Hey! And that means memories at the edge of oblivion. Oh! Okay, no, hold on. I had to pause the video right there. I am currently editing it. And holy cow, I was editing the video, and I decided to be like, oh, okay, let's see if I still have my blog. And I do. Like, holy cow, this is back when I was like 12 or 13. I had a Kuroshitsuji obsession, and this is my blog. www.aishastories.blogspot.com. It's not even www.aishastories. That's the name. Like, it's one entire thing. Like, I can't even believe this is happening. And then it's in Spanish, so it says like, my blog's name is more than a blog, and then cat face, and holy, you can go down and you have all of this. Like, oh my god. Like, okay, this is dated Sundays, August 7th, 2011. So you can say that the anniversary is going to be pretty soon. Or it already was, depending on when you watch this video. But holy, so here I am, like, hey guys, welcome. Here with my first story. I have Rapdo, or better said, Memories at the Edge of Oblivion. And this story is about Kodoku Kanashimi, a girl like any other, or so that seems, because Kodoku lost her memories in an accident in the past, and after many years, a mysterious character turns out to be the key to regain or remember what she lost. But what will happen with Kodoku, who is this mysterious character, and what would be the end of this great and intense story? Find out in Memories at the Edge of Oblivion. Holy cow! And oh my god, how many chapters did I publish? Like, this is going down memory lane. You have, like, look at how big, like, look at how long this story is. And I never finished it, I think. What was the last chapter? Oh, I did? I finished it. Oh, I'm gonna read this just for the sake of remembering what I did. What cringy thing. I did. Okay, so 11 chapters. Oh my god. So there you go, guys. If you want to, if you know Spanish and you want to read my story, Memories at the Edge of Oblivion, you are more than welcome to do it. And back then I was just writing for myself. It wasn't the best. I even entered a contest and ended up 3rd place in my entire school. But then I traveled to the US and I spent 2 months with this amazing family that gave me a sketchbook and markers. And one of my 2 little sisters, shout out to me, KK and Ains. Like, I don't know if you're watching this video, guys, but I want you to know that I miss you. You rock! So yeah, one of them, KK, she also likes anime and she loves reading. And so when I went there and she discovered that we had all these things in common, she recommended me Wattpad. Back then I was 16 and me KK, she's the oldest one. She was probably 13, 14, and Ains was like 12. So me KK recommended me Wattpad, and she said, oh, there's this app in which you can write and people can read it and it's going to be good for you. And I was writing a story, and I think that's how we got into the Wattpad conversation, but I wasn't like sure, or I wasn't ready to publish what I was writing. But then she insisted, and I remember that the first night in which I published the first chapter of my story, I got like 15 or 16 views in the first couple of minutes, and that made me feel so like I was in the sky flying through the clouds. And so I kept writing, and I keep writing on Wattpad even though I haven't published anything in the past 2 years, but I'm working on it. But now that I actually have people requesting for the new chapter of the story that I'm currently writing, it makes me like, it fills me with determination. I'm gonna leave the name right here because I don't even know my own name in Wattpad because I always change it. So you should totally go check it out, read the story, and cringe a lot because I wrote it when I was probably 14, 15, and I thought my English was good, but my English was no good. Like this story, oh my god. The grammar and the way I wrote stuff, it just makes my eyes bleed. But I haven't changed the grammar or anything because it's like, I want to leave it the way I wrote it. So I don't know, it's nostalgic. The 4th hobby that I like to do is watching YouTube, or in my case, doing YouTube. Like, if I'm honest with you, I can spend an entire week just catching up with YouTubes from the channels that I'm subscribed to, or recording and editing. And like, I know that right now I'm a nobody in YouTube, but I don't know, it's just so fun to record. Like, I'm talking to a camera right now in my room with my windows wide open. Any person walking down the street can see me talking to a camera, and they may think that I'm insane, but I am not, I promise you that. And whoa, that hobby was short, and here comes a shorter one. The hobby number 5 is creating in general. So ever since I came with the crazy idea of becoming a movie director, I haven't stopped creating. But I mean, if you compare me with the creation of others, then I'm still a baby and I have technically done nothing. But it's like, I love drawing, I love writing, I love reading, I love creating short films, I love writing scripts, I love doing anything that has to do with the artistic side of a person. And like, I would love to learn how to do sculptures and stuff. And I don't know, it's like the feeling that I have. Okay, let me explain this. As a filmmaker, in my case a film director, you're looking to send a message or send an emotion through your work. And so whenever I write a script and I have an emotion in mind, I really work forward to make that emotion be clear on the screen. And so every year after we're done, we have like this end of the year screening. And so in those screenings, all the works that were done during the school year are screened to an audience, like our friends and family. And so I get super nervous, but then it feels so good to have your work shown and having people reacting the way you expected them to react. Like, if I want them to cry and I see at least one person crying, then that's fine. If I want people to laugh their butts off while watching this scene and they are laughing their butts off while watching that scene in the screening, then I did my job. I remember that when I graduated, I was in charge of doing like this video with the highlights of our school life and like with a lot of pictures about us and videos and like a super cliche thing. And I spent weeks doing that video. It was basically pictures and videos from our high school life and pictures of us. Like, it was pictures of us since we were like babies, and then pictures of us one day that I took a picture of everyone. As a senior, with this shirt that we had, like it was like a, how can I explain it? Like every senior year has numbers, so we were the senior promo 17. And so that day everybody had their shirts and I took individual pictures of everybody. But the thing is that I asked people for pictures of their student life and no one gave me pictures. They gave me the baby ones, which were important, but they didn't give me the other ones. So I have to go into everybody's Facebook and I had to look for those pictures one by one. And when I couldn't find any more, that's when I decided to start on the project. And on the day of our senior party of our prom, we screened the video and it sucked because I heard the majority of the people there, the majority of the students, they hated the video. They didn't like it. They said it was really bad, that it sucked, and that they wish they hadn't seen it. And it made me feel really bad because, you know, there were a lot of people that I didn't like back in the days, but I still did my best at that video. And prior to the party, whenever my friends through the WhatsApp group of our classroom asked how the video was going, I said, oh, it's going great, I'm gonna make you cry. But then people were saying that they hated it, and it really got to me. And when I thought that the entire night was going to be gloomy for me, I saw one girl to my left. She was crying her eyes off. She was crying so hard, her friends had to hold her up so she could breathe and calm, stop crying. And she was like a new student. She had been studying in our school for like 2 or 3 years, and she was crying because of the video that I did. And so when I saw her crying, it made me feel better. I don't want to sound mean, but just knowing that I made someone cry with the video that was made with the intention of making the audience cry, despite all the bullshit that all my other classmates were saying, it made me feel in the top of the world, because that meant, her reaction meant that I could do it. And so whenever I accomplished the feeling that I want the audience to have while watching one of my works, that's an indescribable feeling. And that's a wrap, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope I get to see you guys soon. Bye!